We're on to our final parting words where I just want to try and put everything you've just gone through into perspective. And first of all, congratulations on getting through the content. I know there was quite a bit of it, and there was really a lot more than was originally planned. But somewhere down the line, I realized this could really be the flagship course for Sormena and be the course that you turn to when you need to build that strong foundation. And it's all about building this foundation. It's all about understanding the fundamentals. And once you get those two things down, it becomes very easy to add, the little extra frill on top or to go further, to dig deeper. And it's definitely true. And it's how we're going to be approaching all of our courses upcoming. So just as an example, we looked at the mixing tools, right? And we said, okay, here's a compressor. Here are some of its uses. Now you go and try to apply that when you feel it's appropriate. But we could go a step further and talk about, okay, well, how people have used these in the past and what sort of perspectives can we take when we're mixing? And that's going to be an entire course all to itself, but it requires that you have the foundation down, that you have the fundamentals. And that's what this course is designed to do. Once you go through this course and you understand every concept and you hear every concept, and when I say hear, I mean you go in, you can tell A, B, okay, this is what I've done, that's what I meant to do. You should be able to make any kind of music that you want to make, with the exception of us not necessarily going through a lot of music theory or talking about harmony or all of that. We'll do that on the site separately, but from the production technical side of things, you should be very much good to go. This is not a course that you can go through once and absorb all of the content. With the 101 course, I think it would be easy to sit down, watch all of that in one setting or break it up into different days and be able to come up with a track at the end. This course has gone well and truly above and beyond that. And so do not expect to absorb everything in one go. And it's not about absorbing everything in one go. The second you feel inspired to create, which is why all of these videos exist in the first place, always go in and create first, come back and learn second. You always learn so much more from doing versus just watching or emulating or copying what somebody else has done before. When you're able to draw your own conclusions, not only is it a lot more fulfilling, but it sticks with you for longer and you'll always remember that personal experience you had. So I think as an artist and as somebody making music, the more you're able to learn on your own, the better. That being said, it's impossible to know where to start from, and that's really what this course is all about. So don't feel like you only have to watch this content once and then it's all suddenly going to sink in. Quite the contrary. You need to go back to different topics that maybe you didn't understand, rethink about them, and spend some time just sitting back, not touching the DAW, thinking about what's been referenced and what's been brought up. Because when you can conceptualize it, put it into your own words and hear it, you don't need this information anymore. You've got it. You've mastered it. You can't master something just by following along and going through a course. It's not that simple. You have to draw your own conclusions, and that's what I always want you to remember, and that's what I'm always trying to do here. I'm never trying to tell you that there's a right or a wrong way. There are just different applications at different times that you feel are appropriate. The other question that I know some of you have is, why are there so many presentations? I just want to see you doing it in the DAW. I want to see the hands-on practical stuff. Well, this goes back to what I just said. You're not going to learn that much from that. And in my opinion, everybody's different, so everybody responds to different teaching styles. And if you really hate the way that I do it, and if you feel like I'm really rapping at you a lot and not letting you see or hear the results, then by all means, go somewhere else where they provide that for you. That is not the point of this website. The point of this website and the material is to inspire you and to help you think about things on your own. So as we go further here with the courses, some of them are almost going to be entirely presentation based because it's assumed that you have the fundamentals and that sturdy foundation. So when it comes to things like artistry or it comes to production, it's really the ideas that count and then how you go about applying them. It's not just seeing somebody do it. That really is a very small part of learning and of getting better and growing. So that's why there are so many presentations, and it's probably going to continue in that fashion, especially when we get to the very advanced courses. There are some courses where it's going to be more about examples, others where it's necessary to just kind of talk about the theory and then see how you apply it and talk about the results that we've had, okay? Production, artistry being the two biggies there. So trust your instincts. All right. I want you to draw your own conclusions. I do not want to draw them for you. There's no perfect processor for every single situation. You need to draw your own conclusions, and you don't need to just trust what I'm saying. It's about you going in there, experimenting, practicing, so that you have your own theories and opinions, and then could realistically teach a course about it. Okay. We always learn and have been told in the past that the best way to learn something is to actually be able to teach it. And I think that's very true. The difference is when you're learning something you're not passionate about and then you're expected to teach it, it always kind of blows up in your face. But if you're really passionate about making music, you'll be able to teach that to somebody else. And by doing that, you'll get so much more out of the subject. So draw your own conclusions is what I'm trying to say there. The main idea of this course is that by limiting your tools, you're not limiting your options. And I think we prove that with just how much content there is in this course. There's a lot you can do with a very small number of tools as long as you understand them and think about different ways of applying them. The options are infinite, even with a limited set of tools. The fewer tools, the easier it is to make music and stay in the zone and avoid getting distracted. Okay, so if you have 800 plugins to choose from and you don't understand them all, how do you know what to pull to? How are you going to know what to do? You're going to spend more time of just dragging and dropping plugins and listening to results than actually going through and making music. The more you make music, the more you realize you need to add new things to the toolbox, and that's totally okay. But from the get-go, how are you going to know what you need and what you don't need? You don't. That's why you need to experiment and learn and grow and make sure you let this growth happen naturally. Don't try to expedite it. Don't try to just copy what your favorite producer is doing. Okay? It's not going to end well for you. You want to take your time. You want to grow and mature as an individual artist, not as some kind of clone that's just going to copy and paste. All right. That is not what we're trying to do at this website. If you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do it, but that is not the goal of this course or this website. Always have a plan. All these things, it's interesting how they all kind of tie into each other. You want to have an idea of what you're going to do before you just go in and start blindly shooting in the dark. That never ends well, and you end up with a mess typically when that happens. It's fine to change your plans, or when you have a plan, not execute it 100% of the time, but initially you want to have a reason for doing things, and really for everything. So even if it's as simple and silly as saying, I want a really boomy kick drum. Okay, well, at least now you've narrowed it down. So you go through your kick samples and, okay, this isn't boomy enough, this isn't boomy enough. Oh, here's a boomy one, I can use that. Okay, by doing this, by having a plan, by having an idea, you always have a direction. And it's when you start to lose that direction where making music becomes very difficult. When you run out of ideas, what are you supposed to do? That's the question. And that's why having ideas is so important when it comes to making music. And remember, our age-old tenet here, when in doubt, leave it out. I feel like we should make a t-shirt of that as our go-to slogan. But it's really true. If you're not hearing a difference, even if you had an idea for something, like let's say the idea was I want to apply a compressor, I want to add more bounce to this sound, and you apply it and you don't hear it, all right, just leave it out. Only if it's an enhancement, only if it sounds like something better before versus after do you want to leave it in. So on to making music, okay? As much as there's been a lot of technical talk for all the hours of content in this course, making music is still just about having fun and expressing yourself. Really, that's all it comes down to. You do not need this course to do that. This course is here as just a little bit of extra help when you run into the wall or you don't understand like why you might want to apply something. Okay, this is all about giving you ideas so that you can have fun making music and expressing yourself. This course is designed to inspire and give you some things to think about. Nothing more and nothing less. It doesn't happen overnight. The ideas in this course can take months or years to fully conceptualize, understand, and then hear. So that's what's so annoying about this is you can really get it, but your ears just don't have enough experience to hear it. So it does take quite a bit of time. You need to kind of develop that slowly. It's a natural process. And again, it does not happen overnight, despite what you might see or hear from certain people on the internet. Do not be discouraged if it doesn't click right away. Most of these topics and things that I'm explaining to you now made absolutely zero sense to me when I first started out. So it's not like there are just people who are more natural than others. Maybe there are, but you can get there too. If I can do it, I know for sure you can do it, because none of this stuff made sense to me when I first started out. Your evolution is continuous, it doesn't stop. And this is why you can't like learn or acquire a skill in a really short amount of time, or again, with the age old cliche, overnight. It's great to make a track for the first time and then to go on and make that second one and hear how that evolution is happening. And it's always going on, even if you're not aware of it. So don't get discouraged if you've made 15 tracks and you still are nowhere close to where you want to be. That evolution is happening. You just may not be seeing it because you're closest to it. But I can guarantee you that the people around you, and if I was to listen to those 15 songs, I would hear the development. I would hear the maturity. And what I want you to do is embrace and enjoy the process. If you're willing and able to do that, the sky's the limit, and you will not get discouraged, and you'll be willing to go in and try again. And eventually you'll get there. Trust me, you will. I have full faith and confidence that you can do it. So thank you very much. This course is intense and requires plenty of dedication just to get through it all. So apply that same mindset and work ethic to your music, and you're sure to get where you want to be. Just give it time. So thank you guys very much. It's been a pleasure. And I can't wait to hear all of the music that you make and to see and track your growth as an artist and as a creator, but also just as a person. So thank you very much, and take it easy.